Welcome to this presentation on exploring access resources from the U.S. National Science Foundation Access Program. My name is Joel Adams. Let's see what resources are available to you through the NSF Access Program. In this playlist, the word resource will refer to any U.S. national cyber infrastructure system that is available via Access. By contrast, a resource provider, or RP, is the institutional home of a given resource. Let's see how to explore the resources that are available via the Access portal, access-ci.org. Feel free to follow along on your computer. To explore the resources available through Access, we start by visiting the Access portal, access-ci.org. There we click Resources, which takes us to the Access Resources page. From here, we can explore the available resources. If you scroll down, this Compute and Storage Resources list lists all the available Access resources. If we look at any one of them, you can see there's an overview of the capabilities of that resource, a brief description of it, and a link to learn more about it. Toward the bottom, we reach this Program and Other Resources area, and there we see things such as Fabric, Match Services. If you need expert assistance with your project, Match Services is worth looking at, and the Science Gateways Centers of Excellence link. Scrolling back to the top, to narrow down the list, we can click the Filters button here on the right, and that exposes a list of different kinds of tags. To illustrate, suppose you have a regional affinity for Western Pennsylvania. You could click the Pittsburgh Supercomputing Center tag and see just the resources available there, Bridges 2 and NeoCortex. Clicking a tag again removes it as a filter. Likewise, if you need a particular kind of resource or special hardware, you can select those tags. For example, if your research involves reading streaming data from sensors or instruments, click that, and we see that SAGE is the one resource available for that purpose. To learn more about a particular resource, you can click its name. That lets us view its computing resources. We can click the down arrow there and see that it's a Dell cluster with these descriptions, these particular kinds of processors, and some recommended uses, the specifications, and there's also things like announcements from this particular resource provider. So some training events in this case. There's also a user community area where you can join an affinity group or connect on the Slack channel. And there's a searchable list of software. So for example, if we wanted to find out if PyTorch is available, we could type in PyTorch and we see that yes, indeed it is. If we go back to the previous page, another option is to ask a question. You must be logged in, so make sure you're logged in to Access. This will bring up the Q&A chatbot. Here you can choose from among some choices. Do you want to ask a question, open a help ticket, performance of particular Access resources, report a security issue? Let's ask a question. Are there any science gateways for bioinformatics? and comes back and says, yes, there are science gateways specifically for bioinformatics. And it gives us a description of what science gateways are. And then it says, for example, the Galaxy platform is a well-known science gateway designed for data-intensive biomedical research. Other gateways like GenApp or Open Topography support various scientific domains, including bioinformatics. So the Access Q&A chatbot lets you ask questions, and you can always start a new chat if you want to get back kind of where you were. By contrast, the Get Suggestions button does not require you to be logged in. Clicking it takes you to the Access Resource Advisor ARA page, where you can fill out a simple form and let the system suggest resources for your project. For more information about the ARA, see our separate video about it. The Read News lets you see information, kind of news releases and press releases from specific resources or resource providers. Finally, suppose your project requires particular software and you want to determine which resources have that software installed. You can find this by going to the top of the page, choosing Support, and there clicking Tools, Software Documentation Service, or SDS. For example, suppose you're a chemist and you need the Gaussian software. We can just search the table for Gaussian. And see that it is available in Bridges 2 and maybe on ACES under something called GPFlow. If we go back to the resources page, now we've seen several different ways you can explore the different resources available through the Access program. I encourage you to explore these resources on your own to see which ones might be useful for your project. Let's return to our presentation. To summarize what we've just learned, there are a variety of ways to explore the Access resources, including browsing the exhaustive compute and storage resources list, which can be narrowed down using filters, asking questions to the Access Q&A chatbot, using the Access Resource Advisor to get resource suggestions for your project, or using the Software Documentation Service. All of these are available by first going to the Access portal, access-ci.org, and then selecting Resources, or, in the case of the SDS, Support. In the next presentation, we'll see how to request an Access allocation. Thank you for watching this Access presentation.